Decisions. All right, when it comes to regrets and decision making, you should never regret anything. You should never be afraid of anything. I mean, you should stay balanced in your thinking. You shouldn't be overly positive or overly negative. And I don't want to say realist because you create your reality. So it really just comes down to you and what you create and what you will into existence. But when it comes to childhood intuition, you kind of want to get back to that. You know, as a kid, I know you probably had a lot of things that you knew innately. You know, just intuitively just knew these things, and you weren't going to be had and told something other than the truth, because the self is usually strong in something closer to the ether, like a child. You know, just closer to the source. You know, so when it comes to making decisions, just don't be fearful, because when it comes down to fear, it will never help you. It won't help any of us. So fear causes hesitation. You know, hesitation can make your worst fears come true. And you know when you know. So you know if you've done something wrong, you know right and wrong. You know, and the self will refute you. If you do something wrong and you try to lie to yourself like that, and justify it or whatever, or you squandered something and you try to blame someone else, your self will refute you. And this is why people get into drugs and alcohol and things like that, to push themselves away, because the self will remind you every waking minute that you try to lie to it. So you just keep trying to lie to yourself. The body just continues to try to lie to itself. So the self is just there, basically kind of just torturing you, because you're just lying to the self. And then you can actually get to a point where the self will stop speaking you, and then you have no guidance. You'll just be an open body for whatever comes down the pike. So you should never regret anything, never be fearful of anything, and just know that if you did miss an opportunity, that you're just going to have to do what you have to do to recreate the circumstance, or create another circumstance to flourish. So yeah, just know that you just can't lie to yourself. There's no way around it. It just can't even be done. So that's really about it. The self will refute you every single time. Every time you try to say, hey, I stole that because I needed to, or whatever the case may be, or I didn't do this because this person was in the way, and not holding yourself accountable, then you can't live with yourself. So that's why many of us resort to substances to push the self away from the body, and that just opens the body up for the will of others. So I'm gonna just leave that at that. Gotta learn to live with regrets, or what in so-called regrets. Basically, you just gotta know that life is a cycle, and that the opportunity will come back around. It may look different, may appear different, come back around in a different form, or it might not be exactly the way you had pictured it the first time, but you just have to know that you have the chance. You are the creator. You always can create your own chances. So just learn to live with yourself and to know yourself, because you know when you know, and you don't want to go into something that yourself told you beforehand is something that you shouldn't do, because you're gonna have to live with that every day. The self will remind you every second. So that's that, man.